signed a bout agreement. In that bout agreement, where does it say anything about escrow accounts, tickets, or any of these things that you mentioned? Where does it? You're a lawyer. Where does it say anything in that contract you signed?
Hey, Frank, if you want to get into a legal debate about Swiss law, which is what apparently applies to this,
no,
I'm
I
happy
do
to do it, man.
I'm
happy to do it.
So then answer the question. Answer the question.
I'm
You're a lawyer.
Frank, are you going to let Frank, baby,
Jeff,
are you going to let me answer?
I'm not a lawyer. I left school when I was 14 and a half.
Frank,
You're a lawyer.
Are you going to let me answer?
Did you advise your client to sign the bout agreement?
Okay, Jeff, you heard what Frank's saying, so now is your chance to answer it. Were these things in the contract? On you go, Jeff.
I get to talk. We signed a form bout agreement. We had negotiations that said we were going to have further conversations about all these other elements. Frank should know that. He hasn't been told that by his lawyer or by his son. It's not my fault. So, Frank, tell me where we are on get Dillian's money guaranteed. Answer my question, Frank. Why don't you want to put Dillian's
properly?
Frank, why don't you want to put Dillian's money in a place that's protected?
It is protected.
What's wrong with that? Where is it then, Frank?
Let me just tell you something.
On you go, Frank.
You've signed an agreement. You're his lawyer. So if you're worried about the money, then he should be looking to you because you advised him to sign it. And if there's a problem, if I was him, I'd sue you if I don't get paid because you advised him to sign it.
Jeff, is that not a fair point? You've signed the contract. Does Frank not have a point? You're his lawyer.
Not at all. Frank's beating around the bush. He won't answer my questions.
But tell me something. Why did you sign this agreement? There's no escrow in it. You're obliged to do things promotionally. Why did you sign it if you're not going to do these things? And you want more things that are not in the contract?
Frank,
you're a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. You're the lawyer. You're the lawyer. What are you doing?
Mr. Non-lawyer.
You've obviously not protected. All the things you're asking for is because obviously, in your view, you've not protected your client's interest. You should have advised him to sign the contract.
Not at all, Frank. Frank, show me where it is that we have to do any of the things that you've said, other than reasonably promoted.
What's good, family? Shout out to my doggy Beef the Mook for boosting up your man the YB's dire membership coin situation, no doubt. We got some breaking news right now. Your man's Frank Bricktop from Snatch Warren airing out Dillian the Shillian Shite co-op. Yeah, co-op trained lawyer. Now listen, as you can see on your screen, I got some. We're not going to cover this on this video, but I told you, man, from time ago. I leaked the news that Dillian Whyte hired his lawyer from the corner shop. Bottom line, you can see it on your screen. Oops, yeah. I told you, man, this RYB, you don't know what you're talking about, this, that, the other. What I tell you? Yeah? What we know is the YB, the number one lawyer and the number one manager in the game. Categorically, if Dillian the Shillian Shite, yeah, had gone with the YB, he'd be up 100% right now, literally. 100% coins, he'd be up. That's what we do know. This dude is below. No word of a lie. At least with co-op legal services, you're going to get a certain standard, I'd have thought. This Don, where have they found this guy at? I think there's an actual, what's the word? There's an actual kind of absolute joke. Or there's a real scam, rather, that's been going on in the world of so-called, in the professional world. A lot of individuals these days, yeah, you can, for example, you can buy degrees online. You can buy a degree in, as far as was recent, when I got my degree, there's no like code, for example. There's no code where you can type in and verify if someone has a degree or not. You can buy one. All you get is a piece of paper. There's no like verification. As long as you got a piece of goofy paper, you're allegedly got a degree. And I believe, allegedly, your man's Dillian the Shillian Shite's lawyer is one of them snake oil sales dons. Yeah, he's come up and just blagged his way because this guy's sloppy. Again, I've been saying this. I'm the one who told you this from the jump. Who signed things and then have a problem? And don't forget, people, the bottom line for this whole thing is, yeah, don't forget, Dillian Whyte and his team had 30 days to negotiate. That's what that period's for. Do you understand? Jeffrey Co-op Legal Services Benz. Well, we said we were going to leave it open for negotiation. But guess what? What do we know? Dillian Whyte's team thought they were smart waiting until the last hour to sign. That's what we know. Yeah, they thought they were smart, and all the Team Dillian fans, oh yeah, Dillian's playing mind games. Yeah. Oh, Tyson Fury, he's lost his head. You got Eddie Hearn out here. Oh yeah, Tyson Fury's lost his head. I love what Dillian's doing. Yeah, Dillian's got him clinging on the edge. Rather than doing his fiduciary duty, which was to negotiate to negotiate the particulars over the 30-day period, Dillian and his D-level legal team sat back telling Dillian, oh no Dillian, let's not negotiate terms before we sign, let's try play mind games and ignore emails for 30 days and then sign it, having done no negotiation. That's what happened. I remember during that 30-day period I was putting videos out saying Dillian Whyte's not going to sign. Why? Because Frank Warren and Team Fury were saying, we haven't heard from Team Shite in 10 days. And there was even confusion about who was actually managing the negotiations because they hadn't heard from Team Dillian. That's when Frank Warren said, well, we're not sure who it is. It could be Ben Shalom. It could be, it's definitely not Eddie Hearn, but you know what I'm saying? One of them ones. And that shows you, because guess what? If Team Dillian Whyte had been doing what they were supposed to be doing, aka negotiating, Frank Warren would have known who he was dealing with. They didn't know, because Team Dillian Whyte was sitting back in the cut, thinking they was being smart, too focused on the wrong things. Yeah? Your duty to your client is to get that negotiation in before you sign the contract. Who does that? Who sits back, focusing on playing mind games, rather than getting it on black and white paper before you put your signature on it? Fair enough, yeah, let's say Dillian Whyte had some sort of long game. And in fact, I was giving Dillian Whyte's D-level legal team too much credit. I thought they were going to do this where they kind of literally didn't sign the agreement and then instead went on to bank on the fact that they were going to win the arbitration. That would have been a strategy which kind of makes sense. Okay, they're not going to sign this, but they're going to wait out for the March thing. Now, I've got more news coming soon. Yeah, I've got evidence that shows Dillian Whyte's legal case is dead in the water. It doesn't exist. Or sorry, I've got evidence that shows it was filed back in October and it hasn't moved since. Which would make sense because unless you follow up with these things, or unless you get certain documents in, unless you request things and follow legal procedure, it ends up dead in the water. It don't go nowhere. And that's what seems to be the case. Dillian Whyte's D-level legal team don't know what they're doing. Yeah, hence why, all of a sudden, yeah, and this is the thing with all you interviewers, all you interviewer cats, the first question I want you to ask Eddie Hearn or Team Shite is, what's going on with the arbitration? Because as far as I'm concerned, we were all gassed up, it's going to be done in March. Well, March is over now. So don't let me hear you asking no more dumb questions about no dumb things, and no one trying to hear about. We want to know what's going on with the arbitration. Because there ain't no evidence. And like I said, to the contrary, from what I'm seeing, Dillian Whyte's legal case ain't been updated since October, since they filed it. Oops. Yeah, and this, I do actually feel sorry for Dillian. This often happens a lot with our community, yeah? Our community is the most, what's the word I'm looking for? It's the most uneducated in terms of finances, legal services, politically, every single one of them ones, dopey. We think, oh well, it's a white man with a suit, so he must be legit. Oops. Yeah, it's one and that's what it is. Bottom line, oh look, I'm from the hood, and there's a white man in a suit. He must be legit. Now look at you, and no doubt, this Don Jeffrey Benz, what he's doing is, if you notice, he's got Dillian Whyte involved. It's almost like hammer and a nail. Hammers, or a hammer is always looking to bang things. Yeah, a lawyer is always looking to drum up legal fees. So wait there, you started arbitration which has gone nowhere. Now you're trying to, it's basically my point is, he's causing mess as everywhere he goes is causing mess. And I believe he's doing that so that he can then keep Dillian Whyte paying fees. When things go smoothly, lawyers don't get paid. Do you understand? Lawyers are paid to be in disputes. And that's what this looks like to me, a big hustle. Dillian's pockets being hustled, because the bottom line is, yeah, if you disagree with me, show me one added. Don't forget, people, when you're paying people tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars and or a percentage split, the bottom line question you got to ask yourself is, what value are they adding? And in my opinion, if I was managing a fighter, yeah, every single don in that team, I'd be calculating their dollar added value, bottom line. And if you ain't adding no dollar value, what are you doing here? So, for example, Jeffrey Benz, Mr. Co-op lawyer, let's have a look. Show me where he's added value. For example, let me tell you what the YB did, 100%. The YB told you back in December to accept the 30%. Yeah? Your man Benz, oh no, let's do this, let's do that. What we know is, that got Dillian a guaranteed 17%. What the YB said got you a guaranteed 30%. That's pretty much double. Oops. That's what you call added value. That's just one example. Where is all this added value from Benz? Another thing. The YB said 3 years ago, before Dillian lost to Povetkin, before Deontay Wilder lost the belt, I said 4 years ago, file the case now. Why? Because your claim is strong. You haven't been beat by Povetkin. You had that. Don't forget, people, at that point in time, yeah, 3 years ago, Dillian, that was during the period, yeah, where Dillian was like 800 days deep. That's when he should have filed it. Yeah, it was one consistent champion, i.e. Deontay Wilder. So there was no kind of change in champion, which clearly makes it dodgy, doesn't it? If you've got a claim against Deontay Wilder and now the champion's changed, Tyson Fury is a brand new champion. So your claim of being whatever, it's not as strong. 3 years ago, you had 800 days against a particular champion who that champion had fought people like Ortiz, Fury, Dominic Bumzeel over you. All these people were magically raised up to mandatory positions over you. Hence, your claim is very strong. Yeah. So if you want to make legal arguments like discrimination, you had the perfect setup there. It was all lined up. You had perfect examples of, look, why would all these lesser fighters who are lower ranked than me, who are not as commercially viable as me, getting the shot over me? Discrimination 101, I'd have thought. Yeah. Instead, you wasted all that, got knocked out, and now you've been given the shot, and you're trying to... You've been given the shot. Don't forget, people, Dillian Whyte filed the case a month before he actually got the shot. So what are you filing about? Oops. Again, don't forget, people, Dillian Whyte has been associated with this bum lawyer for years. What has he been doing? What value? Think about it. As far as Dillian Whyte's career is concerned, what value has he added? I'm pretty sure he was the one who advised Dillian not to take the AJ fight as well, the one you likely would have won in June 2019. Oops. This dude is literally negative value. Yeah? If you want to lose money, hire this man, 100%. Another thing, moving on. So after Dillian Whyte's D-level legal team waited the 30-day period out, only then to sign. This wasn't some contrived strategy where they sat down and worked the numbers and thought, wait a minute, there is risks, but we think we should hold out and wait for the arbitration to complete before signing. That'd make sense. It's a risky strategy, but I get that. Yeah, we're gonna gamble it all on the arbitration and let's go big. What you don't do is sit out for 30 days. Don't get none of your negotiation points into the deal. And then sign it anyway. What the fuck? And then be begging about, oh well, yeah, we signed it, but you said we were going to talk. Wait a minute. So you do want to talk then? If you wanted to talk, why were you so focused on playing mind games for the 30-day period? I remember categorically Frank Warren and Team Fury saying we haven't heard from Dillian Whyte's team in 10 days. How is that possible? When now, after you've signed it, all of a sudden, oh well, you said we were gonna. I spoke to your son, Francis Warren, and he told me we were gonna carry on talking after we signed. I thought you was big dogs who were silent and playing mind games. Now you want to talk after you signed it. What lawyer is this? I'm sorry, what lawyer is that? Normally, lawyers err on the cautious side, i.e., you know what? let's not play mind games. Let's just get the negotiation points in. Let's not worry about that stuff. That stuff you can focus on in your own time. As far as I'm concerned, as far as my fiduciary duty is concerned, let's just get our points in. Lawyers should be focused on getting their bits in for their client. If you want to escrow, get it in there. Not, oh, let's sit back in the cut and play mind games. And the thing is, they weren't even good mind games. You just got bumped. You essentially have now signed a contract with nothing that you want in it. Whereas at the time, during that 30-day period, Dillian Whyte, if he had half-sharp legal advice, could have got all these things in there. I.e., he could have said, okay, Frank, yeah, the legal wording or the vocabulary used or whatever, the language used within this contract around promotion is kind of scarce, yeah? So what we'll do is, I'll guarantee you, I'll come to 4 press conferences, I'll do a whole bunch of Instagram lives, write it all out, you know what I'm saying? And in return, I want escrow, I want this, I want that. That's what should have happened on day one of that 30-day period. Bottom line. That's what anyone worth a little piece of legal anything should have been doing. Yeah, I'd have sat Dillian down before the 30-day period and told me, Dillian, what are the 10 main things important to you? What do you want from this situation? Yeah, and to be honest, if I was on Dillian's team, I'd have told the other side, okay, Frank, tell me the 10 things important to you, and let's try and work this out. So we can both don't forget people, this is a massive fight, yeah? And if done right, i.e. if promoted correctly, we can all be happy and eat. Again, don't forget people, if Dillian Whyte was advised by the YB, we'd have took 30%. Double what you're getting now. Oops. Yeah? What can I say? Now you're looking all silly. Now people say, oh, YB, it's out of order. He only getting 17%. Whose fault's that? Tyson Fury was offering 25. And you probably could have pushed it to 30. To be quite frank, categorically, Team Fury came out and said, we'll give Dillian 25. And that was when Dillian was being silent. If Dillian had to come forward and offered himself up and said, yeah, let's push this, let's do that, the other, before you know, it could be 30%. Plus the winning bonus, plus whatever else. That's what could have happened. But you don't know, but Dillian Whyte was too busy being silent with his skinny dogs on Instagram. And now people tell me, and it's the problem, I kept telling you, man, throughout that period, start taking responsibility for your own actions. Stop blaming the world. Rather than take responsibility, Dillian has hired a big expensive so-called Cali lawyer to lose him money. So, Dillian's getting double whammied here. And this is more evidence that shows Dillian loves DP. He loved being DP'd. Yeah, he loved Lamar Scott, his wife, from the back, and he loved Jeff Benz at the front, and they're just spit roasting him. That's the only conclusion we must make from this. Dillian Whyte loves being fin-dommed, yeah? Dillian Whyte loved being financially dominated by his lawyer, Jeff Benz. Jeff Benz is just piping him right now from the front, and Lamar, he taking the back right now. That's what we do know. There's no other explanation for it. Because a man who doesn't like to be fin-dommed by some goofy lawyer, yeah? Some goofy Shrek-looking ass. I'm not even sure. There's a film called, I think it's called Big Boss. I think there's a film here called Big Boss. Jeff Benz looks like the baby from... This Don looks like a baby in a big round bubbly baby in a suit. Yeah? And the advice is given out reflects that as well. This guy playing at this guy ain't serious. I'm sorry. And the worst thing is I've got a video coming soon. In fact, no, scrap that. Let's stick to the topics here. Like I was saying. The 30-day period, this cat should have got in all of his worries. I've never ever heard anyone say, and the worst thing is, during this exchange, yeah, he kept on trying to stunt. Oh, I'm from Cali. I'm a big US lawyer. You don't know how we do it in law. Listen, I don't know what law you've been doing, but one of the cardinal rules is you don't sign nothing until you're happy. Or, you know what I'm saying? You don't sign nothing. You certainly don't. And the worst thing is, yeah, Dillian literally signed the bare bones agreement. Do you understand that? He didn't get 1 point of his in. He signed the bare bones agreement and then took Frank Warren's son's word. Frank Warren, aka Team Bricktop, have played Team Whyte. This is one of the worst playings I've ever seen. I've never seen someone be punked this bad before. It's the worst. It's the worst outcome for Team Dillian. Team Dillian didn't get 1 point in the contract. Team Fury are laughing all the way to the bank. Normally you'd be expected to make loads of concessions. Team Fury ain't made no concessions because Team Whyte just signed it after thinking they was playing mind games for 30 days. It's mad. Genuinely, this individual, Jeff Benz, needs to be investigated for malpractice, in my opinion. Frank Warren's absolutely correct. Dillian Whyte needs to sue this man if it all goes to pot. Because I can't see at one point where he's actually interested, or acted, sorry, in Dillian Whyte's interest. I believe Jeff Benz may be an MTK Team Fury plant. That's the only explanation. Everything he does is absolutely prejudicially beneficial to Team Fury. And if you disagree with what I'm saying, show me one thing. You tell me one point. Show me one part of this, yeah, where you can say, no, YB, he actually did something in Dillian Whyte's favour. Name it. Tell me where it is. Oh, sign it. The worst thing is, it's actually a pumpkin. This man said he signed it because, he signed it because Fury's team said that we could talk afterwards. Yeah, sign this contract and we can definitely talk afterwards. And this guy's a lawyer. And lawyers are supposed to be the people who are extra careful. Do you understand this? Most boneheads wouldn't sign something and be gassed. You've been gassed. And this is what I'm saying when I say this man's credentials need to be investigated. I'm sorry. He sounds like a complete charlatan who don't have a clue about nothing. And a low IQ charlatan at that. I've never heard of a lawyer saying, yeah, it's best to sign things first and then try and... Because once you've signed something, you're done. There is no negotiating afterwards. This is not, I'm afraid. It's not. You lose all your leverage once you've signed. Or sorry, it's completely locked in once it's signed. And most people don't realise, this Jeff Benz cat keeps going on about, it's only about agreement. What people don't realise is, this is the final agreement. Do you understand? There is no other contract to come after this. This is it. It's done. This fight's done now. Do you understand? So what's Jeff Benz talking about? Oh, we only signed a standard battle. The fight's done. It's locked in now. And that's the whole point. You were supposed to get in during that. I mean, how many times throughout the years, how many times have we heard about negotiations going back and forth? For example, we just heard about Devin Haney's whole thing going on as an example. That's what's supposed to happen. In the period, I know it's slightly different, but still, the bottom line is you're supposed to negotiate, get what you want in, get both sides get what they want as much as possible, and then you sign it. What you definitely don't do is sign the bare bones minimum and then be begging and praying and hoping and pleading. Especially not as the B-side. So again, I do feel sorry for Dillian. Dillian, for me, he been taken advantage of. That's the only conclusion we can make right now. He been taken advantage of by this charlatan cat. Yeah. And it was embarrassing hearing him squirm. Frank Warren said, why did you sign it for if there were so many issues? He just waffled. He can't actually answer the question, which tells me that implies he's actually most likely a charlatan. I'd be very surprised people, and that's the thing. You need to have intelligent people in your team, because I'm telling you now, if it was me, anyone we employ who's in a big position like this, i.e. managing arbitrations and whatnot, I'm going to hire a private investigator, because for what it's worth, I mean, if you're talking millions of dollars, it's worth it spending 10, 20 grand on a PI for a couple of weeks. Check this guy out. Check this zesty cat out. Do you know what I'm saying? Because there's way too, like I said, there's way too many individuals buying fake degrees. And I mean, these days, people think a LinkedIn is real. A LinkedIn, you can write anything on LinkedIn. You can write anything anywhere. You can, I'm Big C. I got a suit on. All you got to do these days, put a suit on, make a LinkedIn, and people think you're top. He from this. No, you don't know nothing. He could be any bum. Yeah? Don't know what deals he's been doing. And this cat, by the way he operating, he ain't done no deals for no one. He using Dillian. Dillian is his come up. He saw Dillian coming. He thought, oh damn, yeah. Oh look, there's a bonehead. There's a bonehead boxer. Another bonehead boxer to milk. And this is why you see when you don't have the right people around you, a bunch of boneheads, you get taken advantage of. Yeah, Dillian Whyte been Me Too'd right now, 100%. He's been Me Too'd. And the problem is, you see these days. Because famous people are surrounded by yes men, there ain't no one around them who's objective, who can tell them. You know what I'm saying? Everyone too busy whispering in their arse. Yeah, that's what they do. Which blow air in their arse. Rather than say, wait a minute, Dillian, how do you know, just because the man's white and just because he got a suit and a tie on, How do you know he is what he is? Big round looking ass, yeah? I'm sorry, Mr. Blobby. Man, you know what I'm saying? Big round Mr. Blobby in a suit looking ass, yeah? I'm sorry, myself, that don't mean nothing. I've seen a whole bunch of Mr. Blobbies in the suits. Don't mean nothing. Especially these days with the whole social media thing. Everyone think they're big city, don't they? Oh, I'm a big trader. Oh, I'm a big this, that, the other. Everyone's a big boss apparently. So it's not a surprise that there's this whole hype culture and big dog culture has got into the legal services thing now. And Dillian Whyte has been got. Yeah, you know, you see all them individuals on Instagram talking about, oh man, I can make you $10,000 a day trading. Yeah, pay me $500 and I'll show you how to make $10,000 in crypto. Huh? How you gonna show me to make 10 grand but you want my 500? Don't make no sense. But again, loads of boneheads go for this. So Dillian Whyte's just one of them boneheads who's been got. I bet Dillian Whyte saw an Instagram page of Jeff Benz saying, oh man, you know, I do $10 million deals, Dillian. And you know, even though I do $10 million deals, I need your money. I want to be... Wait a minute, Jeff Benz. If you're such big city, why do you need Dillian as a client? Oops. Yeah? If you're working for so many corporations, why you need bum Dillian for? Because Dillian ain't doing corporation money. Oops. Exactly. Jeff Benz ain't doing no big numbers. Here's what he's not doing. That's why you're with Dillian. Yeah, let's be real now. no big corporate... No, I'm saying, no big corporate lawyers or no big... Well, none of them man are dealing with Dillian. That's what they're not doing. Yeah? This charlatan saw Dillian coming and it's been got. And Dillian, all you're ever gonna see from Jeff Benz, you ain't gonna see no value added. All you're gonna see is charging sheets. I bet you any money, yeah? Jeff Benz may have not done no negotiation for 30 days, but I bet you any money every month his expenses sheet comes through on the every first of the month or every 30th of the month. That expense sheet is in your face, but my man can't reply to email for 30 days, or my man's gassed you up to think you're doing something smart. Yeah, Dillian, because all Jeff Benz has done, yeah, Jeff Benz has been paid for 30 days work, and you ain't got no value from it. I bet you any money Dillian Whyte probably paid 50 grand for Jeff Benz to sit there and ignore. Oh yeah, Dillian, I got this wicked strategy. Yeah, we're going to ignore for 30 days and be silent and we're going to play mind games. Instead of me negotiating on your behalf and getting things you actually care about, let's play mind games. And Dillian was like, wow, this white man in a suit told me to play mind games. This is mad. He well smart. Yeah, let's do that. Oops. And this is why, you see, you notice that time and time again the cycle goes round in circles, in as much as you get all these black entertainers, yeah, and they just get got. And that's why, I mean, look at the whole, for example, Death Row Records. It was the lawyer bumped all them, man. Suge Knight in jail. Harry O somewhere else dusty. And that lawyer cat, forgot the guy's name now, the lawyer cat, he the one who made off all the cheese. Because he's, again, the white lawyer Dan, he just take, all these people are blinded by the white Dan in the suit. Oh, wow, he white. And that's the thing. Oh, he's so white. They love it. I'm just telling you what it is. I'm just telling you now. Yeah. Oh, wow, he white and he got a suit on. He must be the business. And I've been saying this for a minute. Same as AJ's team. Yeah, AJ talk about, let's do this for the community. His whole team white. Oops. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I lied to you, man. Yeah, AJ for sure, he has... And what's the word? He has, yeah, I watched a documentary on AJ. The man who washes AJ's drawers, yeah, he black. But everyone else in power positions, manager, promoter, finance dons, they're all white. So what you don't gas the place up, yeah, but we need to do this for the community. So what you mean to say is you want everyone else to do things for the community, but meanwhile you carry on doing what's been done for years. Yeah? And again, I ain't got no problem with that, but I'm sick of this whole narrative of, oh man, I'm from the hood, and I'm from Watford, and I'm for the people. Meanwhile, your whole team, everyone in power positions, is not what you're preaching. Just be honest, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, be honest, innit? Yeah, you love the white man in a suit, and that's what it is. Fair play to you. Again, no difference to me. My mum's white. I'm just saying what it is. Yeah. Let's call a spade here. Dillian, you've been got, and that's what it is. And these man enjoy being got. He like it. His favourite thing to do be got. But anyway, in summary, your man Chillian, like I said a second ago, he been got. There's no doubt about that. And at every stage, if you break this situation down, or if you break Dillian Whyte's career down for the last 3 years, at every stage, Jeff Benz has been at the helm of all the bad decision making. And in fact, there isn't one decision that's been made that's even averagely. If you roll the dice, Dillian Whyte's career would have gone better than it has. Every decision literally has been the opposite of how it should have been. Yeah? Again, like I said, Dillian Whyte's split percentage, Team Fury offer 25 to 30%. He gets 17, the bare bones minimum. That's one example. Yeah, Dillian Whyte arbitration. He waits until a month before he gets offered it anyway. Yeah, he waits until he gets knocked out, and then a month before he gets offered it anyway to complain. The 3 years where he had actual complaint, he say nothing. Yeah, the 30-day negotiation period where he had bargaining power because of his ability to offer promotional services or whatever. Guess what? They do no negotiation, and then they sign anyway. The dude didn't even do no negotiation and then not sign. That may have been a play. At least you'd have held on to. I mean, this dude literally maximizes the worst decisions against White. And Frank Warren didn't lie when he said, when this goes tits up for Team Shillian, there absolutely is a case. Yeah? And you hear Jeff Benz saying, oh, no way. No, there is, 100%. But again, the problem is, you see, Dillian Whyte won't have anyone around him with any IQ to tell him, wait a minute, Dillian, this lawyer's crap. You need to sue this lawyer. The best decision Shillian will make will be suing this guy. He's absolutely incompetent. And if I was Team Dillian, I'd have private investigators investigating him. Because I'm sorry, I've never heard of anything. This is beyond a joke. Yeah? He must be investigated at the minimum. I want to see your degree. I want to see your alleged masters. I want to see all of it. I want to see your deals you've done. And I'll be checking with the sources as well. If you tell me you've done some big corporate deal, I want to speak to them. You know, it's simple as that. Tell me the people you've been working with. Yeah, I want the reference. And these are the standards. I guarantee you, yeah, if you ask Dillian Whyte, what references did you get from Jeff Benz? Show me the evidence of all these qualifications. Dillian wouldn't know where to start. And none of Dillian's team would either. Dillian Whyte went on the internet, or went on Instagram and saw this guy on the IG talking about how he got the fire legal services. And Dillian thought, like I said, wow, a white Dan in a suit, this is me all day. Yeah, let me handle the money to him, no problem. Yeah, that's how it goes. And the problem is, with the social media culture, too many of you goofy sheeple cats, too many of you goofy man fans have gassed these dopey dons into thinking there's something shit hot. People like AJ, people like Dillian, because they got money, yeah, and some clout, they think they're intelligent. Oh, wow, I've got a bunch of man blowing smoke up my ass. I must be super smart. You're not smart. Yeah, you're not. That's what... I mean, look at the situation you're in. I'm sorry. It's a bad situation to be in. And if anyone disagrees, show me. Don't sit there and say, Whyte B, you're a hater. Break down the same way I've broken it down, how this lawyer's done the opposite of everything in Dillian's interest, yeah? Show me, say Whyte B, you're wrong because of this. Like I said, because the problem with you, man, is you ain't got the IQ to argue. So instead you say, oh, Whyte B, this mad or whatever. No. Break it down. The same way I broke it down. Show me where the value's been added. Because don't forget, what we know for a fact is, I guarantee you, Dillian's paid hundreds of thousands out. Now, if I'm paying hundreds of thousands out, the whole point of lawyers is to pay them 200 grand out to get 400 grand back. Everything's an investment at that level. Otherwise, why bother? Yeah, if you're going to bring a lawyer in and pay him 300 grand to then lose 5 mil, which is actually the likely net, honestly, 100%, the net present value of your man Jeffrey Benz is minus 6 million. If you add up all the F-ups and then his costings, Dillian's down 6 mil. That's just what it is so far, and God knows what else to come. Because, like I said, guess what else? I mean, I completely forgot about this argument and the last one I'll make. But another great example. What else do we know? So, after you'd think the ultimate blunder would have been Jeffrey Benz signing a bare bones contract and getting nothing in there Nothing built into the language for his client. You'd think that's where the disaster or the nightmare for Dillian would end. Instead, we now find ourselves being advised wrongly that he's not legally liable to provide promotional services. Now, I'm going to do a video in the next few days showing you the WBC contract template. And that WBC contract template, like Frank Warren says, it literally has a clause in there saying fighters must provide pictures of themselves for the promotional whatever. It also says fighters must, for obvious reasons, engage in a fair amount of promotional activity. These are written into the contract that Dillian signed. So it's one thing, Dillian Whyte's lawyer not doing nothing for 30 days and not getting none of his own language put into the contract that benefits Dillian. That's one thing. It's a whole nother thing now, having signed something on behalf of your client and then not told him the language is liable to... Do you know what I'm saying? You've signed a contract which says Dillian must provide photos, Dillian must do fair promotion. And now, Dillian isn't even doing that. Which has now opened Dillian up. Frank Warren's already confirmed, and rightfully so. Dillian Whyte is going to be sued for not doing so. And you're damn right. And you can hear Jeffrey Benz is defending this, saying, "Oh, show me where." He says show me where Dillian needs to go to the press conferences. Show me where Dillian needs to provide photos. And I'm sorry, but again, the only explanation is the man has literally signed. Team Dillian Whyte, Jeff Benz, has literally signed a document saying he must provide photos and he must do promotional activities. Don't forget, people. Don't you think? Do you really think Dillian Whyte is the first B-side opponent who doesn't really want to go to a press conference? Think about it. Why would any B-side, if it wasn't in the contract yet, why would any B-side turn up? Why is this the first time in history we've ever heard of a B-side not needing to be at a press conference? This whole narrative of, oh, he's being paid anyway, where do you think that money's coming from? It's not coming from thin air. It's coming from the event. And to make the event a success, in the standard bout agreement, the WBC and everyone else knows, you must do a fair amount of promotional activity. It's written in there. Standard. So what... I'm begging, what is the lawyer doing? And that's why I tell you that he must be an inside man for Team Fury, because it don't make no other sense. Why would a lawyer, knowing he's signed a document saying you must do fair promotion, you must provide photos, why would he then tell you no photos and don't do no promotion? Why would he do that for? And you can hear Jeff Benz actually arguing that, oh well, our definition of what promotion is different to yours. Why would he argue that for? Of all the things you might want to argue, why would you argue that? Based on the precedent, Frank Warren and his legal team is going to have decades of precedent. Yeah? I.e., well, look at all the fights before. Why is this the first fight? Why, Jeff Benz, are you the first lawyer to decide... After all the fights that take place throughout history, why is your fighter so different to everyone else? Oops. That's what you call precedent. It's not like you can say, well, YB, you know, it's been argued and upheld in court that this fighter on this date, 20 years ago, argued that he doesn't need to go to the press conference. There ain't no legal precedent for a fighter not turning up or winning a court battle for not doing the promotional activity. Never heard of it. So it seems to me like Team Dillian is going to try and be some sort of trailblazer. They're going to try and set the precedent. They're going to try and go into court and win and prove that B-sides don't need to go to press conferences, which makes no sense whatsoever. And the worst thing is, all you Dillian Whyte Man fans, you think it's so smart. Oh yeah, Dillian playing. And the worst thing is, even with this whole confrontation, all of Dillian Whyte's Man fans, YB, yeah, Dillian Whyte's lawyer was chopping Frank Warren up. Yeah, Frank Warren was really mad. And I don't know what you mamas listen to. I really don't. I ain't got a clue what you mamas listen to. Frank Warren had this dude sounding super silly, but again, most casual dons don't have a clue what they're listening to. Oh, well, yeah, I'm Dillian Whyte's man fan, so he must have been winning. That's what they think. Oh, well, I love Dillian Whyte no matter what, so that means whatever his team do, they must be winning, and Frank must be mad. No. Yeah? If Frank was mad and Team Dillian Whyte's team were winning, I'd have told you that. That's not what happened, though. Team Dillian Whyte and Jeff Benz got exposed for being clowns and having no idea about anything they're talking about doing. Who does that? And that's actually the key point here. Well, that part about the promotional part, that for me was if there was any doubt that this guy is some charlatan, that was it for me. Why, of all the value you may be able to add to your client, which by the way Jeff Benz has never shown, but of all the value you may be able to add to your client, in business, yeah, you have to weigh up the battles to fight. For example, Dillian Whyte going to arbitration for a bigger percent. That's a battle, yeah, that may be worth investing in. Because you know the payoff. You know, wait there a minute, if you can go from 17% to 34%, that's 10 million bucks. That's an investment that makes sense. I tell you what, an investment don't make sense, yeah, is challenging the language in the contract about promotion. Where's the upside in that? Because what Jeff Benz is essentially set up here for himself, Frank Warren has said, he's suing Dillian for not obliging. Dillian Whyte's had no IG promotion. Dillian Whyte's not turned up to press conferences, etc., etc. He's going to get sued. And Jeff Benz must have known that. Oh, he knows that. That's why he's saying, oh well, he even admits, oh well, yeah, Frank Warren's suing us, but our definition, we don't believe that's what the language means. We don't believe that means he needs to give pictures or he needs to do promotion. So that's setting it up for a legal challenge. Jeff Benz is now going to go to court after the fight. Frank Warren said he's suing Dillian after the fight, and so they're going to go to court now, and Jeff Benz is going to be prepared to argue that his client didn't need to do whatever it was. But my question is, of all the battles Team Dillian may want to fight legally, why is that one of them? How is that a good investment of Dillian's money? If you're looking in your best interest of your client, where's the upside there? Yeah? All that's doing is putting money in Jeff Benz's, all these frivolous, having to defend all these lawsuits, yeah? Who does that benefit? Because Frank Warren's going to sue Team Dillian. Where's the upside for them? I don't see it. The only upside in that situation, yeah, the only upside for Dillian not delivering on the contract he signed that every other fighter has delivered on since history began. This really is a precedent I've never heard of, a fighter not turning up to do promotional activity, especially for a big fight. I mean, normally, people do world tours. Before the press, you know what I'm saying? Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather did 3 city world tours months before the fight, and then did press conferences before the fight. That's how it's supposed to go. Yeah? And now your man Jeff Benz is going to take Dillian's money and go to court to fight Frank Warren. So like I said, if you're under any doubt now, what this shows is Jeff Benz is doing things that benefit him. Absolutely. He's making all the mistakes possible so that he can get Dillian in court and then go in there and rack up his expenses fees. I'm sorry, that's the only explanation. There's no explanation for not doing the bare bones minimum. Things like asking for a private jet. If you wanted a private jet, no court in the land here is going to uphold a private jet if it ain't in the contract. Bottom line. Oops. So all these arguments about, oh well, we wouldn't go to the press conference because we wanted a private jet. What, you think the court going to say, oh, you're right, yeah, you're right. If anything, that's the thing. If you feel, normally what you're supposed to do, yeah, once you've signed a contract, if you're not sure about something, or if you think you've been done wrong, you're supposed to go along with the contract, and then you sue. Do you understand? That's what you're supposed to do. So what if Dillian was being advised properly, yeah, what he should have done is, okay, you know what, we've signed this contract now, we think we're being done wrong, let's just fulfill our basic obligations, which makes sense, and then, because we feel we've been done wrong, we'll go on the offensive. That's how it's supposed to work, people. What you're not supposed to do is sign a contract and then just start blatantly negging on all of it. Because you've lost all the power then. Yeah? You go along with the bare bones minimum and then you sue. If Dillian Whyte really felt he'd been done wrong and whatever else, he should be the one saying, you know what, yeah, we oblige the bare bones minimum, but now we're going to sue Frank Warren for not providing a private jet because we feel that put us at exposure or whatever. That's what makes sense to me. You definitely don't sign something and then just start knocking things off and saying, well, we don't think that's what the contract means. Even though there's been decades of, and in fact, even Dillian's gonna be stabbed by his own sword. How and why? Well, guess what? Dillian Whyte has been B-side, and Dillian Whyte, in his own career, has gone to these kind of press events. So if I'm Frank Warren's legal team, I'm going to be saying, wait a minute, Dillian, you said that the language doesn't mean you should be putting out Instagram posts. You say the language doesn't mean you should be going to tickets, to be going to press conferences. Well, why is it for all of your fights before this event, when you signed the same WBC bouncer contract, you was at all the press events, you was putting out all the Instagram shots? Explain the difference then. We're confused. We're confused why one bout agreement is different to another. Oops. Dillian Whyte going to get slayed on that. Because it shows how Dillian Whyte's essentially discriminating against this event for whatever reason. He's being biased. Fair enough, yeah. If Dillian Whyte, well, not fair enough, he'd still lose anyway, but if Dillian, his whole career, yeah, had not been going to press conferences, and if Dillian, his whole career, had been arguing how the language wasn't right in the bout agreement, he'd at least have an argument, but the fact he's gone and pushed all these other crap events with no problem, and now he's being paid record money, there's just no justification for it. And anyone with a brain knows that. Certainly a big city corporate lawyer from Cali. Yeah, I had some goofy in my comment section saying, "Oh, YB, you don't know what you're talking about." Yeah, Jeff Benz is Jeff Benz. He's from LA, and they do it different in LA. They sign and then do it. They sign and then negotiate afterwards. What the fuck? Again, these individuals too much on Instagram. Yeah, about you sign and then you do our negotiation afterwards. Get out of here, man. You watch too many films. I'm telling you now, no one in the corporate world signs and then checks the details afterwards. That's what goobers do. How about that? Anyway, Dillian, you've been punked, and if I was you, well, in fact, for my sake, I'm enjoying this whole drama, so carry on being punked. Yeah, carry on being spit roast by Lamar and your man Jeff Benz. You best believe it. Yeah, Jeff Benz stays stroking Dillian Whyte from the top. Yeah, Dillian Whyte's head top stays getting let off by Jeff Benz's wick. Yeah, the corp lawyer stays wicking down your man Chillian, no doubt.